Hey guys, so this is going to be on color theory and color mode. So this is going to be pretty quick. We're going to skip the first portion of this color theory presentation. You can find these in your image editing September 8th through 11th notes right down here at the bottom. So these are linked right here if you need those. This is color theory presentation and the color mode presentation. If you open up your color theory mode and color theory and mode guided notes, you'll be able to follow along and fill in that as we go. All right, so I'm going to come down here. Basically, if we were in class and we actually had the class time to do this, we would put each color on the screen and you guys would tell me what you feel or thought whenever you saw each color. So instead, I'm going to go to what those colors actually mean down here on slide 13. So this is red. It's stimulating, vibrant, and passionate. Pink is calm, loving, and feminine. Orange is energetic, enthusiastic, fun. Yellow, friendly, cheerful, happy. Green is natural, healthy, and peaceful. Blue is trustworthy, secure, responsible. Purple is successful, wise, and royal. White represents purity, innocence, and practicality. Brown is earthy, simple, and dependable. Black is exclusive, prestigious, and luxury. So if you look through those different ones, think about different logos that you see that companies have used and designed using those colors. So for example, if you look at John Deere, well, a tractor, it's natural, it works in nature. Banks, a lot of banks have green and blue logos. If you want to represent something that's very exclusive or very expensive, like if you look at Chanel, if you look at their logo, it's black and white. So very, you can kind of see what different companies are going for whenever they design their logos. So I will post a video that kind of goes through some different logos and shows that. So if you look at here, color is design's most exciting element. So there are lots of dimensions. Let's see, let me make this big. Oh yeah. All right, so there are a lot of different dimensions of color and quality. So there's the hue, the value, and the intensity. So the hue is the color that is the name that is given to the color. So this first from the far left is red, the middle is yellow, and the far right is violet or purple. The value is how light or dark that color is. So you have kind of your range of the darkness and of that color. And the intensity is how bright or dull it is. So on the left, we have a girl wearing a fuchsia skirt. So her colors are very intense, whereas on the right, they're low intensity or kind of duller colors. Tint is whenever you add white to a hue and make it so it comes lighter. So if we take red, we add white, we get a lighter red or a pinkish tint. Shade is created by adding black to a color so it becomes darker. So you see we go from red to like a garnet color by adding black. Your neutrals, which really aren't colors, are going to be your white, black, gray, and beige. So white is the absence of color. Black is the presence of all colors. Gray is the combination of those two. And beige is something that actually works with most colors. So when you're making designs. Looking at the color wheel here, we have all the different colors on here. So this is a guide that helps you kind of choose how to combine colors. The color wheel shows different relationships, and designers usually use this to kind of figure out what's going to look good together. So your primary hues are going to be red, yellow, and blue. These are pure and basic, and they cannot be made from any other color. All colors are made from these three. They're equal distance from one another on the color wheel, which means we have our red here, 4 spaces over is our yellow, 4 spaces over is our blue, and 4 spaces over we're back to our red. Okay, so that's what that means, equal distance on the color wheel. Our secondary colors are made by mixing 2 equal amounts of the primary colors. So they're found halfway between each of the primary colors. So if we get red and yellow, we make orange. Blue and yellow makes green, and blue and red makes violet or purple. Your intermediate or your tertiary hues, so whichever one you want to call those, are made by mixing equal parts of your adjoining primary and secondary colors. So those are going to be the ones that are just slightly different, okay? So it can be also divided into warm and cool colors. So your warm colors appear hot or like the sun or fire. So that would be this half of the color wheel. So they give you, make you feel active, cheerful. They appear to advance, so they make the body look larger. So when you wear these warm colors, you look bigger. It can give you a nervous impression if you wear a whole lot. So warm colors, reds, oranges, and yellows. Your cool colors remind you of the water in the sky. They give you feelings of quietness and restfulness. And they appear to recede or make your body look smaller when you wear these colors. They can be depressing if you overdo them. So those are your blues, your greens, and your purples. All right, so there are different color schemes we're going to look at. And so one of those color schemes is the monochromatic color scheme. This is a one-color plan that uses different tints, shades, and intensities of color. So you see that it goes from this lighter blue to a darker blue. And it's all in the same area of the color wheel. We have our analogous color scheme. This color scheme uses related or neighboring colors on the color wheel. So you'll see these are all right next to each other. We have all there together, so 3 in a row. Your complementary color scheme uses opposite hues on the color wheel, such as yellow and purple together. Split complementary takes 1 and then goes to the complete opposite and off to the side. So uses 1 and then two on each other's complement. Triad color scheme combines 3 colors that are equal distance apart on the color wheel and have a great deal of contrast. So basically pick one color, go 4 over, 4 over, and 4 over, and those are your colors you would use in the triad. Accent and neutral color scheme. So this is when you combine a white, gray, or sometimes beige with a bright color or accent like gray and red. All right, so this also breaks down those different color schemes with actually looking at the full pie here. And this is an example of like a color wheel using crazy objects. All right, so that's actually the end of the color theory. I'm going to switch over to color mode. All right, so we're going to come onto this screen and record this tab. Okay, sorry about the delay. So color mode is a little bit different than color theory, and it breaks down your colors in a different way. And this is going to be kind of more of what we're looking at in class. So additive primary colors are 3 colors of light that produce all the colors in the visual spectrum when they're added together in different ways. So adding equal parts of red, blue, and green gives you black. So all the colors gives you black. The complete absence of all of this light will result in white. Computer monitors are devices that use additive primaries to create color. So if I was to ask you what the additive primaries are, that would be red, green, and blue rather than red, yellow, blue. So these are your additive colors and your color wheel. So here's our normal color wheel and then our RGB, and we're going to get into this one in a minute. So you can also use these to predict how one color component affects another. So if you drag one way, so if you increase magenta, to increase it, you can either decrease its complement, so decrease the amount of green, or increase the amount of magenta. The subtractive primaries are pigments which create a spectrum of colors in different combinations. And these are mostly used with printers. So printers use subtractive primaries, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, to produce colors through subtractive mixing. So primary colors are pure until you begin mixing them together, resulting in colors that are less pure versions of the primaries. For example, orange is created through subtractive mixing of magenta and yellow. And so this is going to be your subtractive. So we have yellow, magenta, cyan, and black. Whereas we have the red, green, and blue for our computer screens. This is what our printers use. All right, so color mode describes what we see and work with in digital images. Each color mode represents a different method, which these are usually numeric, for describing color. So it determines the number and range of colors displayed. So, I'm going to skip that. Okay, so then we have a few different types of color mode here. We have bitmap, grayscale, RGB, CMYK, and lab. We're going to use RGB and CMYK the most, but I wanted you to have an idea of what the other ones are. So bitmap is an image that's displayed on your monitor, a geometric arrangement of different colors of dots on a rectangular grid. Each dot or pixel represents a color or shade. So this is dependent on how high of a resolution you have. When you lose detail when you zoom in too far. So if you take a picture and you zoom super, super far in, and you can see the little squares, that's like the bitmap you can see. All right, grayscale. Turns out there are more than 50 shades. There are 256 shades of gray. And so this has a lot of different shades of gray in it. I don't know how many exactly, but there are tons of different shades of gray. RGB, so like we've already talked about, this is additive color, so red, green, and blue. They create color combinations by mixing, and these are used for lighting, video, and computer monitors. These are device dependent, so sometimes when I have something on my computer and it looks one color, if I put it on the presentation screen or you look at it on your Chromebook, it's going to look like a whole nother color. CMYK color model is a subtractive color, what we talked about. It uses cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. In the printing industry, this is what's used for 4-color process printing. Pretty much any printer that we use is going to have CMYK ink cartridges. That's what those are. They will not look exactly the same on your monitor as they do when they're printed. So whenever we're designing something for print, we want to make sure that we're designing in CMYK color mode, rather than an RGB color mode, which is something we would design in if we knew that it wasn't going to be printed and it was only going to be viewed electronically. Lab color has the highest number of colors and the greatest precision to create them, but they do, no matter what, it looks the same on any kind of device. All right, so that's pretty much all you need for color theory and color mode. You should have been able to get all the answers to your questions. If not, these presentations are available to view. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.